Okay, let's dive straight in. So, if you've been anywhere near TikTok lately, say around April 27th, 2025,
Oh, yeah.
you've probably seen this massive messy trend, the one using that Lola Young track.
Definitely, it's kind of unavoidable.
Right, people are just showing everything, the messy rooms, the cooking fails, just like real life chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And it really makes you think, what is driving this sudden like embrace of imperfection in 2025?
It's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
And to really get into it, I think we should look at Brene Brown's book, The Gifts of Imperfection.
Yeah, the one Oprah recommended. Yep.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey championed it. And it actually offers some, well, surprisingly relevant insights into why this whole messy thing might be hitting such a nerve right now.
Okay.
So our mission, if you will, for this deep dive is to sort of connect the dots,
Mhm.
between this viral social media thing and these like deeper personal growth ideas.
Got it. So we've got the TikTok trend, a real snapshot of now, and this foundational book.
Precisely. A look at online culture today and a classic on living authentically.
So for anyone listening who maybe hasn't read it, what's the core message of the Gifts of Imperfection? What's it basically about?
Well, um, Brown's central argument is pretty clear.
Yeah.
We need to ditch this whole myth of perfection. Just let it go.
Easier said than done, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And instead embrace vulnerability. She gives these 10 guideposts, practical ways to do it. But the main thrust is that our flaws, the things we see as weaknesses, they're not really weaknesses to hide.
Yeah.
They're actually, the source of our realness, our authenticity, and how we connect with people.
Right, right. Okay, so how does that then connect with, all these videos of people showing their messy kitchens or whatever?
Well, think about it this way. One of her guideposts is about cultivating self-compassion, being kind to yourself, especially when things don't go perfectly.
Makes sense.
And another is about letting go of comparison. Stop looking at others and feeling inadequate. Right.
Yeah, the social media trap.
Exactly. So this messy trend, it's like a very visible, very public display of these exact ideas. People are showing the vulnerable bits, the imperfect moment.
Instead of hiding.
Right. Instead of shame, which you might expect, they seem to be finding connection, sometimes even humor. And it's not just staying on TikTok, is it? These clips are popping up on X, being discussed.
Yeah, I've seen that. It suggests something bigger.
It really does. It points to a wider cultural interest, I think.
So does it feel like there's, a real hunger for this kind of unfiltered stuff online generally in 2025? Is this a broader shift?
I'd say absolutely. Look at platforms like Threads, it's exploded, right?
Yeah.
Around 150 million users now.
Wow.
And it's built more around conversation, that kind of back and forth, maybe more intimate interaction.
Yeah.
And it's not just personal accounts either.
You mean like brands?
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
There's data suggesting, I think it was 63% of consumers actually prefer brands that come across as more real, more genuine.
That's a big number.
It is. And there's even this hypothetical idea floating around that creators who lean into this imperfection, show the real struggles, could potentially see a big jump in engagement, maybe like 25% or so.
Interesting. So less polish equals more connection.
Kind of points that way, doesn't it? Maybe we're just getting tired of the super curated perfect feeds.
Yeah, maybe just tired of pretending. Now, you mentioned Oprah earlier. She's been talking about this kind of emotional honesty for ages, hasn't she?
Oh, for a long time. Her recommending the gifts of imperfection, way back around 2010, really highlights her consistent belief in vulnerability and self-acceptance.
Through things like her book club, right?
Exactly. Initiatives like that have always pushed these kinds of conversations.
Mm.
So her endorsement really links Brown's ideas to these wider cultural themes about accepting ourselves.
Which seems to be exactly what's fueling this messy trend we're seeing everywhere, like on X and TikTok.
Precisely. It all sort of ties together.
Okay, so let's bring it back to you listening now. You're interested in getting knowledge quickly, understanding these societal shifts, maybe like we talked about in previous deep dives on cultural moments. Why does this connection matter? Why should you care about a TikTok trend and a self-help book?
Well, I think what's really insightful is seeing how this trend that seems maybe lighthearted on the surface, it actually taps into something much deeper, a real cultural shift towards valuing authenticity.
Okay.
And Brown's work gives us a language, a framework for understanding why it might be happening now. You can imagine, say, a creator in 2025. Maybe someone who used to feel immense pressure to only show the highlights reel.
Right, the perfect moments.
Yeah. But maybe now, understanding an idea like self-compassion from Brown's guideposts, they feel okay, maybe even empowered, to share a messy moment, because they realize it can build connection, not invite judgment.
So it changes how we interact online.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And what we value in the stuff we watch and share, it has ripple effects.
So wrapping this up then, the key takeaway seems to be that this whole viral messy thing, it's not just some random internet fad.
No, probably not.
It actually mirrors this larger shift happening in 2025, this move towards, accepting ourselves, flaws and all, which lines up perfectly with what Gifts of Imperfection talks about.
Well put. And I guess that leaves us and you with a final thought to chew on.
Okay.
In a world, especially a digital world, that still pushes curated perfection so much,
Yeah.
what does this growing embrace of our messy selves really tell us about what we need? About maybe an evolving hunger for genuine connection and real acceptance?